Good morning, everyone. This is our presentation, Virtual Learning Communities, reflecting on my teaching practicum. We hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching it. We introduce ourselves. I am Ángela María Gamboa. My partner is Catalina Herrera. We are from the Bachelor Program in English Language Teaching at Corporación Universitaria Minuto de Dios from Bogotá, Colombia.
This project, Reflective Practice on Professional Work and Beliefs About Teaching, is the second part of a previous project which concluded that pre-service teachers had some difficulties when they tried to put in practice what they believe about teaching and the theories that they learned in methodology classes. Based on that, we consider that it's necessary to promote reflection so pre-service teachers are aware of what they think and what they do in the classroom based on theory, bearing in mind that they believe one thing, but when they go to the classroom, they finally do other ones because of the environment or the situation that they face in that moment in the classroom. So based on the problem that we found in the previous research, the objective of this project is to describe the way pre-service teachers reflect about their beliefs and theories about teaching and their practice in a virtual learning community.
The participants of our study were 15 pre-service teachers from 8th semester at the Bachelor Program in English Language Teaching. They had minimum teaching experience, but they had studied different methodology courses in which they learned certain aspects about methodologies, approaches, techniques to teach the language components and skills in the foreign language. They were also selected because of the knowledge they had acquired and because we wanted to observe and analyze the way these pre-service teachers put into practice the knowledge acquired in the classrooms where they are teaching currently. The concepts that led our research design a space for reflection were reflective practice and virtual learning community. The first construct is reflective practice. This concept is not new in the teaching as a foreign language field. There are different theories about reflective practice. According to one of the authors, that is Dewey, reflective practice is reflective thought, and it involves intelligent thinking, which is conceived as actions that allow development and professional growth. Another important author, which is Farrell, he considers reflective practice as those actions based on evidence. That is the kind of practice which occurs when teachers examine their practices, collect evidence about their own teaching and learning of their students, and not only they are wondering what they should be doing in their classes, like in a fleeting way. Farrell and Sean, they propose that there are three different types of reflection: reflection on action, and reflection in action, and finally reflection for action. The first kind of reflection refers to the reflection after the action, after the implementation of the lesson plans. They reflect on one's own actions and thoughts. The second reflection is related to the reflection on the events and the spontaneity in acting during the action. In the middle of the practice, this kind of reflection involves examining our beliefs and experiences and how they connect to our theories in use, as called by Farrell in 2013. Based on the reflection in action, the information that allows the teacher to reconsider what has been done in the class in order to improve is obtained, as well as the creation of new meanings. This is a metacognitive process that leads teachers to the elaboration of action plans for future sessions. The third and last kind of reflection is the reflection for action. It It is considered the result of reflection in and on action. This reflection for action is understood as the perspective, reflection on the planning, and the didactic knowledge before the teaching practice. This last reflection proposed by the teacher is not only to examine the past or to be aware of what has been done, but to coherently guide the future action. With these types of reflection on, in, and for action, teachers will be able to reflect and compare their beliefs about teaching and learning with what they actually do in the classroom. That is the purpose of this project. So they can develop a full understanding of what they want to achieve in terms of their students' learning. Uh, Taking into account the importance of this concept and the kind of reflections, our pre-service teachers will be able to look at what they are actually doing in the classrooms, the way they put into practice the theories, and compare them to their beliefs about teaching English.
The second construct that we consider is virtual learning communities. Uh, they must be included in the classroom because they promote different types of experiences. Most of the authors coincide in defining virtual learning communities as a social network where a group of people with particular interests meet to share and exchange information, experiences, concerns, and reflect about a common field. In this case, language teaching methodology. Uh, Virtual learning communities are really important in reflective process and teaching ones because they contribute to maintain the social character learning has. Having in mind that learning might not be considered just as internalization of knowledge, but as a process of becoming a member of a sustained community. This means that knowledge is not just acquired and processed, it is also transferred and built thanks to the interaction with people from the same community with different experiences and visions of particular interests. When we designed a virtual learning community, we consider four main elements. The first one is accessibility, which means that all community all the participants can establish communication with the other member of the community as well as to have access to the information sharing it. The second one focuses on the participation of the member of the community due to share and exchange information and experiences from different points of view requires that each participant contributes to the discussions and activities with a high degree of commitment and participation. The third element makes emphasis on the need to teach the participants how to produce, share, and interchange ideas and knowledge that really contributes to comprehend and understand better the interests they are reflecting and analyzing. Finally, in virtual learning communities, it is necessary to create activities where the participants can discuss and can construct knowledge to create clear construction from their common interests. We designed a virtual learning community on a cloud-based web development platform called Wix.com, having in mind that the students can get access easily and is a well-known platform. In this platform, students share experiences, uh, theories, concepts that they have, and beliefs about teaching methodologies. All of them with a reflective cycle that it was mentioned before. The activities proposed in the virtual learning community were divided into three parts. They contain group work and reflective activities, and the answers of the activities were shared and posted in forums created for each activity. Okay. To prepare pre-service teachers to reflect about their own practicum and others' ones, it was created a hypothetical case where it was about an English teacher who planned a task using task-based. The purpose of this first part was that students reflect about theory, practice, and share some ideas and concepts about language teaching methodology. These activities were divided into three sections. Okay, the first section attempted to check if reservist teachers identify some of the key elements of language teaching in the case, mainly from the lesson plan and practice, such as components, lesson plans, type of approaches, etc. The second section asked reservist teachers to define some of the concepts. The concept they identify, they have to check it. And finally, they share it with some of their participants to compare if they have the same definition of the concept. Finally, there was an introduction to the reflective practice. So in this sense, the pre-service teachers were asked to take the role of the English teacher and ask some questions about it. In, on, and for action were proposed to reflect.
For part 2, pre-service teachers had to design a lesson plan for showing in detail the procedures of their methodology to teach English. Also, they were asked to record the session they had planned, with the purpose to reflect about their own beliefs and the way they put them into practice. The next activities proposed for part 2. In these activities, students had to answer different questions to make them reflect in, on, and for action according to what they had planned in comparison to what they actually developed in class. Finally, in part 3, the activity pre-service teachers had to develop first was to read one of their partners' lesson plans, and they had to watch one of their classes or the same class they recorded. They had to analyze the theory they used, the methodology they used in the lesson plan, and contrast that with the aspects watched in the video. Pre-service teachers' participation in the virtual learning community, answering different questions in a forum, again, following the cycle in, on, and for action in order to contribute to their partners' development of lessons. This activity was to analyze the coherence between the lesson and the class recorded. And with the analysis done by all of them, they contributed to the performance and to the future lesson plans. With this last reflection, this last reflection that is in part 3, the last activity, was created to make the pre-service teachers reflect about the whole process they carried out, started with the case, also the analysis of their own practice and their partner's practice, and all the theory they know. So they had to answer different questions. They had to reflect about the way they had been teaching English, the methodology they considered, if it was appropriate or not, and all the reflection to finish the participation in the virtual learning community.
Based on the design of the virtual learning community, we can conclude that it is expected that pre-service teachers work collaboratively so as to the virtual learning community becomes the tool for them to reflect consciously about the actions they developed in their lesson, how they are connected to the theories they have studied, and the way these actions and theories reflect the beliefs they have been constructing or deconstructing along their formation as future English teachers.
Okay, and finally, in this last slide, you can find the references, some of the authors we use to develop our virtual learning community. Thank you very much for watching this presentation and listening to our comments.